All right, welcome to hole 11. This is the 11th green at Glenwild Golf Club and Spa in Park City, Utah. It can be quite a challenging par 3. You play in a westerly direction, and that's the direction a lot of time the wind comes from. It blows pretty hard. I'll pull back here so you can see. There's a ridge up here on the road where all these beautiful homes are, and that ridge right up here can get a lot of wind kind of whipping across the top of it. And as you can see, there's a lot of natural wetlands for you to cover right here, and the penalty area pretty much wraps all the way around this. It's basically a forced carry. It can be quite a long shot with an elevation change of, let's see, about 20 feet or so from the back tee to the green. And but again, we're going to spend our time on the green looking at strategy. As you can see, it's kind of a big boomerang shape here. Bailout area on the left, a bailout area on the right. This is actually a rock wall that can trap your ball just kind of short of the green, so you don't want to mess with that. On the back by the cart path and these bunkers, this is situated above the green complex. So any shot up here by this tree near the bunker, you're going to be playing a downhill chip and run shot. It's about a 3-foot drop from here to there. And obviously big bunkers wrapping all the way around that can cause some stress as well. So let's take a look at the Strakaline Greens book and the complex, the green complex itself. And obviously the more pink you see, the more slope you're going to see. That shows us there's a tremendous amount of slope on this green, and it is a big green. It's almost like two putting greens in one, a right putting green and a left putting green. But I'm going to drop some hole locations in here so we can kind of get started strategizing, right? So obviously this blue section right here can house, a couple of hole locations. So I'm going to put one here. Back here, there's another blue section in the green. We'll call that another hole location. This down here in the front right is pretty common, and then kind of more in the back right area as well, which is kind of center right, is a common hole location as well. But let's take a look at the quadrants and figure out what we're working with here. So if I come right here and cut this section in half from top to bottom, or back to front on the green, and now left to right. We'll identify our quadrants, and let's take a look at really where we don't ever want to be, and then possibly where we always want to be. I can tell you, as big as this green is, we're probably going to have two safe zones, and and at least one area back here to the right where we just don't ever want to hit a shot. We should be able to play an entire year at Glenwild and never have to rake this bunker. That would be my goal as your director of instruction. Don't hit it back here. There's no point, right? We obviously get oopses. We can miss hit shots, so it is going to get golf balls in it, but we don't really want them back here. So let's move over here to the left quadrant, back left. There is a hole location in here, and then also a whole lot of pink, lots of slope that will actually help us because we're playing in this direction. This will act as a backstop. Sometimes we may hit the ball a little bit too far and end up in this back bunker or somewhere on the back edge of the green, chipping down this very steep hill. When you're chipping straight down this steep hill, you pretty much don't have a chance of stopping your ball between the edge of the green and the hole. Most of the time that ball is going to roll all the way down here. So let's try to avoid, if we can, hitting it into this back section. I'm gonna say that hitting it into the front section may be a little bit better, but let's see kind of what this looks like, because although it is playing, would be easier to play to either of these hole locations from this front left side of the green, this is no good down here, right? So this is where that wall is located. This is where some rough is, penalty area, with a 20 by 20 yard miss here. it brings in too much of that penalty area. And then front right section over here, we have a couple of hole locations in there. We also have the edge of a bunker, and we also have this little chipping area off to the front and right of this section, which is really not that difficult. It's actually a nice little chipping area, actually very similar to this area, pin high or or center high on the left side of the green is actually a friendly short game area. So what I'm going to say is within these zones, again, we're going to have to move the quadrant just a little bit. We may bring in a little bit of the back bunker on the right here as a possibility if we move this 20 by 20 back a little bit. But I would rather you be somewhere back here and on the right hand side with a little bit of a backstop than coming up short and in the bunker here. I think the bunker on the front down here is a little bit more diabolical to these hole locations. Although I said early on, don't hit it in this bunker, it's really not that tricky to get out of. I would just say trying to reduce your zone like this, where it would include that, and ultimately putting your safe zone right here in the front section of the green, that would give you the best opportunity to be safe and to score well. On the left-hand side of the green, we're kind of going to do the same thing. We're going to use our 20 by 20 safety zone, and we'll drop it right on top of the green with our eventual ending point right here in the middle of that zone somewhere. So again, when you're looking at these hole locations from your tee shot on this par 3, really, you shouldn't be playing at any pins, right? There's no pin here. It could be, I guess, but it's rare that we would ever put a pin here. So let's not aim at that pin. This is normal to see the pins here and here. Let's play to the right of that section. Over in this right-hand side, we don't want to come up short. We don't want to be long. We want to be right in the middle of this section if we can, and that's exactly where you are going to hit it. So the main thing is to figure out what's your target from the tee that's going to help you to score the best from here. So let's flip back over to our Google Earth image, right? And this is right between these two bunkers, right in the fat section of the green, is where we're going to make our right-hand safe zone, right? This is where we want to try to hit every single time if the hole is located somewhere on the right side of the green. And then our left-hand safe zone is right here in the middle of this section if the hole is located on this side. Now, if we said, okay, I only want one safe zone, I don't want to deal with two safe zones, this is it right here. Okay, you'll have to practice putting from here and practice putting back over to the right-hand side. But again, it's definitely doable, right? So you're going to be back here, putting in this direction. There's kind of this convergence of slopes and ridges, and it just takes a little bit of time trying to figure out where it's going to break and how much it's going to break. But again, I think it's totally doable if you always play to the center of the left side of the green, and if you want to increase your challenge and potential for better scoring, hit it into the center of the right-hand side of the green. So